System stream. I love it. Come on, work. Hey, it is working. There we go. Check it out. We got it. It's all working. I love having one right here. It's excellent. Welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. I cannot believe it is 2023, season 4 of PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, ClearPropTV, and paratalk.org. This is going to be an amazing year. So much is going on this year. I cannot wait to share all the fun stuff, but it's not about that right now. Let's quickly, before 7 o'clock rolls around, say hi to everybody on the panel. Let's first start off with Jim from Canada. You see that little QR code? If you scan that, I think that PPG Grandpa is worth 10%. How's that work, Jim?
That's correct. 10% off with using PPG Grandpa as a code.
So tell us a little bit about your company, and you are our official sponsor.
Cool. I got a printing company, and you can get anything you need printed at my company. Simply contact me, and we'll get it done for you.
Awesome. So what are some of the cool things that we can do if we want to get printed? Stickers. In Canada, they call them decals, but over here in the States, we call them decals. I know. I love it. It's pretty cool. Printing calendars, pretty much anything that you want except for money.
That is correct. We stay away from money.
Darn.
And nudie things.
Oh, you just ruined it.
Can't get my nudie calendar?
No,
just ruined it completely.
Especially if it's of you, Cross.
Dang it. I'm sure you would help Steve Minty out.
Oh my goodness.
I tried.
So crazy.
Yeah,
so what is your website name, and how do we get there?
CarePP.com is the way to get there. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's CarePPG.com.
Excellent. So make sure you go over to carepp.com and you can get some awesome things made, whatever you want to, customize if you want to. And our calendar still haven't made it here, Jim. So I guess the Canadian post is kind of slow. Plus we've had all sorts of crazy weather over here. So hopefully it gets here soon so we can start sending them out to all the people that bought them and won a calendar. So thank you for being our official sponsor. Go over to carepp.com and don't forget, use PPG Grandpa as your code to get 10% off. We also got Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. I love your background, man. Happy New Year, bud.
Yeah, thank you. I want to keep the Christmas tree up all year, just to bug people.
It doesn't bother me. I don't care. You're more than welcome to whatever you want to do.
Should be Christmas every day.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. Yeah, I used to think that, but as commercial as things have gotten, I'm not so sure. But it'd be nice to keep the Christmas spirit going all year long.
People seem nicer.
Hey, it was 72 degrees today.
Yes, over here too.
It was the state of North Carolina. Isn't that nice? And I actually got to fly yesterday in, man, it was a much needed flight. It's like 2 times in like a month and a half that I've been able to fly. We're motivated enough to get up in the cold.
Anything on your new, what is it, paramotortips.com or something like that? Have you?
No, nothing new on that, but a new tips video is dropping next week. And then the week after, I think another one will be dropping. So yeah, stay tuned. Should be a good one.
So where do we need to go, and how do we get there and click that subscribe and that bell notification?
You can go to YouTube, just search for Will Fly, or willflyppg.com will take you there too.
Excellente. Happy New Year. And we also got Michael Crotchet in the background there munching on something. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Kung Pao noodles.
Kung Pao noodles.
Yeah. No, I had a couple flyable days. I had the daughter with me though, so I was just really trying to spend time with her since I only had her for about 2 weeks. Just took her back this evening and got stuck in traffic for 40 minutes. So that was great. So yeah, I mean, I should have wanted to get some flying in. There was weather was like 60, 68 degrees. We get 73 over here one day.
Awesome.
But
yeah. It's starting out to be a good new year.
Heck yeah, if it's for this weekend, it's going back to winter. We had like fall, it seemed like, but trying to get my harness off and put my new quick release on, and I got the carabiner off. Now it's just trying to get it back on. It's this little lip. It's just caught on it, and I know I can get it. It's just small stuff gets me a little annoyed. I gotta step away, come back, try it again.
Well, thank you for being here and being in the background and munching. So if you're going to be doing too much munching, hit that mute button.
Okay.
Also
Sorry, I didn't realize.
Here's,
Sorry, I didn't realize how bad, how great my AirPods are. I didn't realize. So
They
yeah,
are awesome.
sorry, I just got home. Was like throwing it down, trying to get it going before the show started. It's my bad.
Well, Happy New Year. Glad you're here. We also got Linda Anderson, our PR girl with a new webcam. You're on mute, so unmute yourself if you want to say hi. And there you go. Where's your pom-poms? There we go.
Everybody, welcome. It's Monday night, and it's the only place to be on Monday night is right here with ClearPropTV Paramotor podcast. And welcome everybody, welcome chatters and my panel. Thank you so much. I love hanging with you guys every Monday, and it's going to be a great show. We got Scuba Steve in the house. He's the guest, yes, the awesomest guest of the night. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to so y'all just sit back, grab your snacks, and enjoy.
No, I thought you said I was the awesomest guest when I was on.
Everybody that comes on becomes awesomeness. Come
Oh,
on. You know how
Lord,
that
here
works.
we go.
We also
So
saw
jealous. No, I'm okay.
Oh.
We also saw Wade in the backgrounds. So welcome, Wade. Glad you're here. Happy New Year. But once again, it's not about me, PPG Grandpa. It's not about the panel. It's not about, this is season 4 already. Holy smokes. Tonight is all about Scuba Steve. And let me tell you something. He let us know that something happened, but he didn't tell us on the pre-show. So whatever he says, it's going to be a surprise to all of us. Scuba Steve, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, welcome. Yes. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, man. Good to see you.
Today I made one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in paramotoring. Even though I haven't been doing it that long, it blew my mind after I realized it happened, because it was kind of funny because nobody got hurt, nothing got damaged. But it was 64 degrees today and perfect temperature, really nice outside. The only place to fly near me is Enview Plantation. So I decided today that I was going to build my car carrier out a little more to hold my paramotor. So I got everything marked out, and I just need to go to Home Depot to get some wood screws and stuff. So I left to go to Home Depot.
Oh no, is this where it's really going? Am I
No,
here?
no.
No? Oh, okay.
I'm totally going to turn.
Okay.
So I went to go to Home Depot, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to go by Envy Plantation and just happen to see if my buddy happens to be up there. So I turned and I went to Envy Plantation, and lo and behold, he was there flying. So I watched him take off, and he said that he went up the first time, then he went up the second time, and he said the air had gotten a lot smoother. Now, all this happened between all the way up to about 3 p.m. And it's, the sun sets at 5 here. So I said, I'm going to run home and get my gear. And I only live like 2-3 miles from there. So I drove back home, grabbed my helmet, grabbed my parachute, my paramotor, strapped it all down, got back up to the park, realized I left my GoPro at home. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to be recording it. So he said he was done. He was tired. Fine, whatever. After he botched his landing, which, he's doing his best. He'll get it. But I laid my wing out, made sure my A's were clear, brakes, everything was clear, clipped in, already got my motor warmed up, clipped in, checked my roads, made sure my roads were clear, my brakes were clear, reached around, grabbed my A's, and then I walked forward to make sure the lines tighten up at the same time to make sure I was in the middle of the wing. Took a couple steps back, and I hit it. I took off running. The wing came up beautiful. let go of my A's and pulled, and there was nothing in my hands. Didn't have my damn brakes in my hands. That's what I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I just did all this with no brakes. I literally did the motion to stop the wing. There was nothing in my hands. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, I felt so embarrassed when I did that. I was like, are you kidding me? I did not even put my brakes in my hands.
Did you take off?
No, with what? I couldn't even reach my brakes at that point. The wing fell back down. Then
Oh,
I tried to go again, this time with my brakes, but that time there was like literally no wind, and I only got the wing up to about 10 o'clock, and I was just beat. It came back down because I've been working on the freaking thing all day, so I was tired. I couldn't get it up there, and it was already almost sunset. And that park, if you're not out of there by sunset, they lock the gate and you can't get out. So I gave up. I was like, well, I mean, one mistake is not enough to just call off the whole thing, but I felt bad that I didn't even have brakes in my, because it was the perfect wing inflation. It was perfect.
You
Let go of the
could've
A's and nothing.
You probably could have just mashed it and gone then.
You may be, but I would have had to find the brakes really quick because I'm looking for them, and I'm like, where's the brakes?
all right, Steve, real quick. Everybody in the super chat, if you've done this, say that you've done this. On the panel, who has done this before? Raise your hand.
Well,
I
Sean
say
has.
I went to find
There's
I couldn't
Will.
find mine when I went to go land
Will
one,
has.
so I landed with one.
Oh, okay.
I threw my brake away once. I was
Steve, I've done that.
I
I have not done both of them at the same time. I've done that many times with where I've lost one brake, and a lot of times I'll just reach up and grab it and keep going. Hopefully no one's watching. But I've also tried to launch without my throttle in my hand.
Oh, wow.
That's
That would
more
be
difficult. That's
It
more
was.
difficult.
It was. It's when it wasn't a foot pedal, so I had to abort the launch. So
I think that's what threw me off, because the throttle is strapped around your hand. So it felt like the brake was there, but when I went to go down, there was nothing. I'm like, what am I
were you wearing
doing?
gloves? Were you wearing
No,
gloves?
was not wearing gloves. Was not wearing gloves. I could understand if I had gloves on, because you really can't feel as good, but I didn't have gloves on at all. I had them in my pouch, but I was going to wear them after I got up.
I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on me not having the brakes in my hands. I did it on purpose to see if I could launch without brakes in my hands. And if you trust the thrust, you lean back and gun it, no problem. You can get in the air.
Mm.
Yeah,
Don't
and if
try to
you were,
slalom, though.
But
When
that's
you,
knowing that you don't have it in your hands. So
Right.
knowing where it is too. So it is possible.
for the longest time, I was taught to kite without brakes. So I had to learn how to bring that wing up without having brakes. So it's something you can do and stay under it.
Exactly.
It
It's
teaches
not
your
that
weight
hard.
shift.
Oh, I was there. I mean, and I was still going forward with it, but I was like, I couldn't see my brakes. I don't know why. I'm looking for them, but that wing has two hook points for the brakes, one low and one high. And I don't know if I was looking too high and they were down low or what, but yeah, I eventually just let the wing come back down, because I was so embarrassed that I didn't have my brakes in my hand. I was like, what? And it's got a little bit about, complacency. I think, you think, oh, you've done it, you're doing everything right, but it's been since September since I've flown. So it's just something I totally overlooked, I guess, when I was making sure all the roads and everything. I'm like, I even checked the brakes to make sure they were clear and put them right back on the freaking hanger. Didn't even grab the brakes, just went around, grabbed the A's and ran for it.
Yeah,
So,
I've had one wrapped around the risers on takeoff, and I went to go put like pressure on the thing. I was like, this is really tough.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, something's wrong. I didn't want to keep pulling it because I could have stalled that side, or something could have went potentially worse. So I just kept doing. I think I just kept doing to the right because my left one was caught. So I just kept going to the right until I got back around to land. Because I was trying to fix it in the air, but I'm like, nah, screw that. I was still pretty new, so
wow.
it happens.
Yeah, I've had that happen a couple times, because usually when I'm doing reverse takeoff because you check everything's all right, and then I put the brakes back wrong, and then I actually grab it, and then it loops around. But
Oh,
so I hate doing reverses, but
Oh, I love reverse. But yeah,
that's
check.
when it happens to me.
I always check every time since that happened. I'm like, their brakes are clear to pulley and they're not wrapped. Yes, just make sure.
oh, my brakes were clear to the pulley. They just weren't in my hand.
Very interesting.
I-
But I am glad. I am glad that you do check to make sure that they are free and clear to pulley. I
Yeah.
mean, that is a very important step.
And it's
You said it's been since September.
Yes.
Were you kind of rushed on your takeoff?
That has a lot to do with it. Like I said, it was already after 3 and he just finished flying. So I guess it was almost 4 and it sunsets at 5. So I'm like, I rushed home to go get my gear, strapped everything down, ran up there as quick as I could and tried to hurry up and set everything up, get my wing laid out, warm my motor up, check all my lines. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was just so rushed to try and get it done before sunset. And
my mother always
learn
told
them.
me, if in doubt, do without. I think you did the right thing. If you get thrown off, put the wing down and don't get yourself in more trouble.
Right. Luckily, at that point, I hadn't really got into the throttle. I mean, I when the wing came up and I let off the A's, I just started to hit the throttle when at the same time I was pulling imaginary brakes. And then I looked and I'm like, there's nothing in my hand. So I let right back off the throttle and killed the motor. So when the wing come down, I wasn't going to get any, lines caught in the prop.
Right.
So question, was they stowed or was they dangling?
They were stowed.
Hmm.
That's why I could, if they were dangling, I don't know. You know what? That's a good question. I don't
And
remember because once it fell, I was just so embarrassed. I wanted to unclip and go rest.
it's not the embarrassing thing. Will, can you look back at the super chat and see how many people answer the question about taking or trying to take off or dropping a brake?
Yeah, I seen Just Want to Fly, I think, commented on something as well.
Is Will frozen?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
He's just really still.
I
He was
just
just
don't
being
breathe,
really still.
He's got a
Yeah, I
photo
don't
shoot
breathe
going
when
on in
it's
the
not
background.
necessary. That's funny. I had to check myself, make sure I wasn't frozen. Let's see. Someone said something. Tori Pope says never. And let's see. John Wayne says everyone does that. Words of wisdom. Everyone does that. That's true.
Mhm. Yes.
Well, Linda, you haven't done it yet. But Mad Sloper says he hasn't yet.
Right.
There's hope for you, Mad Sloper. Let's see.
That's the thing. I think do I have T-Rex arms? No, I don't have T-Rex arms. I got really long arms. It's probably the problem. But yeah, I just.
So you're the long arm of the law.
Yeah. James said something and it kind of, I can relate to it. Anytime something has gone wrong and whether it's a launch, a landing, whatever, I try to step back and look at the last 3 things I did, to see if there was a pattern. And usually it involves something that I was either frustrated, I was rushed, something kind of took me out of my zone and it gave me the results of what happens when I'm out of my zone. So
yeah.
James said, was something on his mind or were you being watched? I have to cut everything else out when I'm getting ready. So I focus on what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can
there's
answer
truth.
that. There was, John brought his mother and father, they were watching, and my significant other was watching. So there was 3 people watching, plus another guy that pulled off the side of the road and was filming with his iPhone. I tried to block that out. The other thing that happened here recently, which doesn't have anything to do with anything, I got like a brand new $2,500 laptop that has walked out of the house somehow. So that's been
Wow.
plaguing my mind like you would not believe. Yeah,
That sucks,
Sure.
man. I don't want to say the word I'm thinking, but
Yeah.
I hate to say it if that was it. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, that
Hopefully you'll find it underneath the cushion or something.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that'll happen. I'm hoping that'll happen.
It still
But,
bothers
yeah,
me
it's
to this day if there's people that are not flying, standing around watching me.
Yeah, it bothers you. I literally blocked that completely out, but the rushing thing I think is what got me. I was trying to hurry up and get in the air, and I should have took more time. I mean, doing all the appropriate stuff, pre-flight my motor and everything, that was fine. But when I was clipped in, I was just ready to go, and I didn't put the brakes in my hand. Sucks.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I've been rushed before, not to the sense where I thought I was being rushed, but I was out in the field one day. The homeowner come by, basically telling me it's deer hunt season and he's gonna have to shut me down. Got a phone call from my mother right after that. Hung up the phone. I had it all set up for music. Then I got a phone call from my daughter right after that. And so, I probably 10, 15 minutes, I had this gear in the field and got all this stuff going on. And I get I get into the wing and hook clip in and get ready to take off. And the winds had changed on me pretty significantly. And I pretty much just did a failed launch. I didn't have the brake issue like you're saying, but it happens. I'm like, and I try to do what Will does and, step back and think what made me do something different, or what could I have done differently there, or what caused.
When everybody
leading
gets
up
to this point and they mess up, do you guys have that 3 try rule and you pack it up?
I do.
I used to, but I had a small.
Sometimes it's 2.
I might go 4 if it was something stupid on one of the tries. But if I do 3 and it's all my fault, which usually it is all your fault anyway, but yeah, I'll just pack it up.
Didn't we, about who had remember we asked the chatters how many times, what's the maximum number of times, and you tried to launch. Mine was 6, but I'll never do that again.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think I had about 7 times, but I had a small field in the beginning, and I just started reaching out to people asking if I could use their fields around me, and got a bigger field, and it solved that problem because there was so much room to there was like less than an acre, and then it was hayfield, so that was
Yeah,
it.
the most failed launches I've had is 3, and after that, because I knew that it was just too much, the situation, the location, all that stuff, I just shut it down. But if I was in a perfect location and I couldn't figure out why I was launching like that, I don't know. I think I'd probably continue until I got the wing up properly, at least, and figured it all out, because I wouldn't want to put everything away in a mess.
I'm usually a one time and go type of person. So if I fail a launch, it's like, okay, something's weird, no problem, I'll try it again. If I fail that again, it's like, okay, something is really going on, and I'll go and really check everything out. And if I fail that third one, I pack up because something is wrong. And it may not be my equipment, it may be my noggin. So I got a 3-time rule, and I've only used that like twice in my entire flying history. And I don't know why, because the next day I'd go out, the same gear, I'd look at everything, it looked fine, and I would launch on the first one again. So I think it's my noggin. So
yeah, it's pretty. I usually get off the ground the very first time, and I'm gone. Like I maybe 3 or 4 times I've not launched the very first time, and so this time that I had 3, I was just like, yep, we're done. It's ridiculous.
That's what makes me mad. If I would have had the brakes in my hand the first time, I would have been right in the air, because the wing was beautiful. It was perfect. But then the second time, I didn't get the wing up high enough. So it's like, man, if I could swap those, I'd have been in the air.
that second time, did you not hold on to the A's long enough, you think?
No, I had the A's long enough. The wind completely died at that point. The first launch, I had maybe a 3-mile-an-hour wind, so it kind of helped me a little bit get it up. But by the second one, I was just wore out. I was trying to pull, and I didn't get enough speed, so it only got about 10 o'clock, and then I felt the wing pull me back, and then at that point, I knew it was down, so I just let it go.
Hey, Will, there's questions in the super chat.
Yeah, mostly comments, but Live Paramotor Austin says his tip of the night is if you don't take your time to set up, setting up again will take your time. That's
Yeah.
very good, very good. And I do. I just I lay things out, I set things up, and if I'm rushing, then I'm just setting myself up for a bad experience. Brian Franz says he's still breathing and still making mistakes, and he hopes to be making mistakes for a long time. John Wayne, he says it happens when you're in a hurry or someone interrupts. It does.
Yeah.
So if someone interrupts you while you're setting up, it's a good idea to start over. You know, step 1, 2, 3, whatever. I've got a certain count that I do, and if someone interrupts me in the middle of that count, I start back at 1.
That happens a lot. Where there's not a lot of people that fly where I'm at, apparently. I guess North Carolina, you know, there's PPG guys all over the place, but up here in Virginia, you rarely see somebody on a paramotor in the sky. So when they see that, they all pull in where we're at and they have to videotape it and take pictures and ask questions. And it just throws you off a lot, especially, you know, if you're in the air, no big deal. But
don't be afraid to tell them that, you know, you have to do a pre-check and you have to be quiet, you know, while you do the pre-check. Don't be
Okay.
afraid to say that. I've said it to many spectators in the past. Students too, as I tell the students, like, look, this is how you do it. Now I'm going to do it for real. If you guys step back, I got to do it all in my head and make sure that I do it correctly. So don't be afraid to say that, you know, you got to do a pre-flight. Everybody understands flying machines need pre-flights.
yeah.
And let them know maybe when you get your helmet on, you know, you can't really hear them anyway. So if
Yeah,
you see
you
me put the
can't.
helmet on, I'll take your questions when I land. You know.
There you go.
The middle finger are always pretty effective too.
Oh, come on. No, we don't want to do that.
No, man. But yeah, I mean, we've all been there. There was Jeremy, I think it was Jeremy. I'm not sure if it was a question or a statement, but he was talking about new LZs, and that either can affect that or he's asking if it can. And I say
Yes.
you're launching anything that has the capability of throwing you off your game, or like anything that's new that's introduced can certainly, you know, throw a wrench out or throw a monkey wrench, whatever. What's that statement? You throw a monkey wrench or wrench, whatever. It can mess you up. So just being aware of it, like when I'm going to a new site, I'm kind of already thinking about, okay, this is a new site, and I start thinking about all the things that I know about that site. Whether I probably have a general idea, like by looking at Google Earth or whatever, and you know, just kind of get in that mindset. So being aware of it goes a long way.
Yeah, this one's got a nice size field on either side of the driveway coming in. The driveway coming in has some trees. Now the trees may be 40 feet tall. They're not really tall trees, and right now they don't have any leaves or anything on them. So it's literally, you just have to get further back in the field so you make sure you're going to clear the trees. Other than that, there's nothing really in the field. Besides, when you land, if you land on the opposite side, for some reason they have these poles sticking out of the ground. You do not want to run into one. The poles are only about 2 feet tall, but they're solid concrete. You don't want to run into one of those.
You have.
And this
trees
wasn't your
under
first time, right?
This was
Flying out of the
no, it's not my first time flying. It would have been my first time flying at that particular place. I've been there, but didn't take off the last time I went, or this time apparently. Next time I go, I'm going to try to get in the air. I'll say try. Yeah.
Were you
You
running
will.
toward the
You
trees?
will.
Do what now?
Were you running toward the trees? Were you?
Yes,
taking-
it was towards the trees, but I had plenty of room to get up before the trees. I mean,
Because that
the-
rotor changes.
yeah,
It's-
John took off before me, and he was up, I'd say 200 or 300 feet before he even got near the trees. So he cleared them easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being around a lot of trees, I seem to take a lot of rotor that does mess up my launches a few times here and there. It just depends on how close I am to them and where the wind's coming from. But
And there's a gap. There's
And how
about a
fast the wind's
30-foot
going.
gap in between a couple of the trees. You can fly right through there if you were too low.
I do want to say a couple of things. We have 7 likes and 30 people watching. So if you're able to give
Woo!
up, we definitely appreciate it. And also, too, I noticed that Tori Pope put something in the super chat and it automatically flagged it. It said, I blew one tonight and then reset and it was gone. I guess we can't say I blew one. It
These
automatically did
YouTube
that.
moderators, it's all AI.
Yeah.
So
Let's say you
it's not one of our
botched a
mods.
launch.
It's not one of our mods that did it. It was the computer that automatically checks.
It does that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry about that.
It's derogatory.
Shame on you, Tori.
Tori.
So you can't release that message?
It didn't look like it allowed me to. I didn't see it until I looked over on the super chat. Anyway, you have been
Plus-
only flying for what, 30 flights, and you haven't been able to because of something? Is that what's going on, Steve?
Oh no, you're way off.
All right, what's going on?
My first flight was May 5th of 2022. My second flight was probably May 7th of 2022. My third flight and last flight was September 17th of 2022.
Oh, 3, not 30.
3 flights. My motor has 2.5 hours, 2.6 hours on it.
And that's your break-in time, huh?
Well, the break-in time, because it took 2 hours to break it in.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 4.6 hours. I'll have to look at the hour
Okay.
meter. But yeah, I've only had one flight, and it wasn't that long of a flight. It may have been 45 minutes, I'm guessing. Because I don't like flying with a lot of fuel because it's too freaking heavy already. Putting that much fuel in there, and it's hard to run with that thing. Even though the thrust helps a lot. I'm starting to get into let the thrust push me. That helps a lot with the weight.
Exactly.
So-
A lot of new people think that the way it works when we go fly is that to emulate that would be putting on a 70-pound backpack and then running the length of a football field. Absolutely not. Once you put the backpack on and you lean back into the thrust, all you have to do is keep balance and the darn thing is going to be pushing you. So there's no running. When you see people fail launches and they face plant, they're running like they got a backpack on with the thrust aiming down. So when you lean back and you trust the thrust, full throttle that thing, and all you're doing is keeping your balance. You're not running. There's no
Right.
effort into this thing once you get that dialed in.
Yeah.
So, and you only having 3 flights,
3.
I can understand that you're really, really super duper new. So
Yeah.
Dang, you're brave too. Holy crow. I would.
very brave to go out there all by yourself, and do
Yeah.
this with your
Well,
with-
I mean, there was one other guy that flies. Well, like he's only got 8 flights, so it ain't like he's got a lot. But
Well, you know
I
how many
trained-
times I would talk myself out of flying in the beginning when I flew by myself, because mostly the first year was all by myself, and I would just, like, the winds would be like 8, and I'm like, no, I'm not going. If it's under 7, I'll go. So just small things. But
I would say I don't feel comfortable like going and just flying by myself, just take off somewhere and go fly. I would rather somebody be there just in case something happens. I don't want to be, land out in a tree somewhere and be stuck. So yeah, trust the thrust. I'm all about trusting the thrust, but you got to be able to get the wing up and straight first, and that requires a little bit of effort. I'm out of shape, man. I'm 54 and I need to get moving around more. So most of the time I'm working from home, so I get very little exercise. So today was the most exercise I've gotten in a while. I was sweating after the second failed launch. I was sweating. I was like, man, I'm so out of shape.
Understood. Well, now that I thought it was 30 flights. I didn't realize it was 3 flights. I missed the 0 apparently. So
Me
that's
too.
my fault.
I wish I had that many.
Well,
That I'm going
You'll
to
get
change
there.
this
You'll get
year.
there.
it's gonna change this year. I plan on getting a lot more flights in this year.
When you told us that you made a boo-boo, I was, and the first thing you talked about was putting the paramotor on a new, something on the back of
Rack.
your vehicle. I was thinking that the darn thing fell over.
Oh
So
man.
Or like
That's
lost
what
it
I
in
was thinking.
transit.
And yeah,
Lost it in
and
transit.
then you said that you
Yeah.
were doing a forward, it went up, and then when it came back down, I was thinking, okay, it's gonna get tangled up. One time, what happened to me is it fell back and then it fluffed into my muffler and burned a hole about this big into my wing.
Ooh,
Don't
wow.
let it fluff back. The best thing to do is to turn around or immediately kill your engine. I mean, it's when it fluffs behind you,
Oh yeah.
you got to be really careful with that.
Yeah. There.
I didn't
There's
think
a there's
about
a
hitting the muffler.
Yeah.
That's
Hitting that
something.
yeah,
muffler.
there's a time I always, if I have, like, when I'm kiting, you can save it and stuff. You don't have a motor on your back, but when you're just, you got the motor on your back and you have a failed attempt and something goes haywire. There was one time, if I wouldn't have killed that motor, I mean, it wrapped around my prop and it was sucking my hands towards the netting. And every time something screws up on a launch, it's kill instantly. If I wouldn't have killed it soon enough, my hand could have went through the prop. It didn't bent the cage, and then I've already replaced the cage section. So I've had that happen.
Well, that
So
was the good
that's a
thing
reminder.
when I noticed that I didn't have the brakes, I killed the motor, but I continued walking forward. So I watched the glider go back behind me. So I knew it wasn't going to come down into the exhaust or anything. So I knew I could feel it pull me back when it actually got down low enough anyway.
Not really good.
Oh yeah, I've had
because
it pull me
can
back so
also
hard.
cause you to fall backwards and turtle.
That
So
is true.
if it's
I've
above
already
your head, if it's above your head and you're able to turn around and cut that wing down. Too many
Yeah.
people have seen in the past.
How much do those wings, how much do they weigh? Are they all different
depends on the
ones?
size and
All
the
weigh different.
yeah.
They're
Yeah, they
all
weigh different.
relatively pretty light. If you get a new wing, they're relatively light, 20 pounds-ish or so. So, I mean, they're not that, when you're all balled up, some are lighter than that, some are heavier, but all in all, they're pretty light. But if they fall down behind you, and if there is any breeze at all, you could turtle. So
Oh yeah.
be very
That's good.
careful about that. Will
I never
Fly,
even thought
any
about that.
questions in the
Yeah,
super
about turning it instead of letting it fall. Because you
Yeah,
would think if it falls behind you, it's gonna pull you down, right? Kind of pull you
Yeah.
down.
If there
too.
would have been any wind, there was no wind. So yeah, that didn't happen. But yeah, if there was wind, that could have definitely yanked me back. I didn't think about turning
Yeah.
around. I was just
Yeah.
so embarrassed from not having the brakes. I was like, what am I doing?
It's
So
okay, it happens.
Just Wanna Fly says that anything she says, I'm ignoring her comment. So I apologize. I didn't know you had asked a question, and I still don't see it, but
I think
anyway.
it was up higher. I think she did something similar, like
Hers was
something like she
probably
took a rap.
blocked by the program.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I'm
somebody
not
got the
only
B
one
word
that's,
through.
I'm not the only one that's monitoring the chat. So anyways, Lift Paramotor says that his tip of the night is, did we do this one? I think we did it. Yeah, we did it. Ryan Rives says, hardest skill I learned was to how intentionally get tunnel vision when setting up and pre-flighting. Yeah, that's what it takes. Mad Sloper says everyone needs to self-evaluate before each flight if you're really in the right state of mind to fly. That's an awesome tip. And have y'all heard of the I'm Safe checklist?
Yeah.
I'm safe, illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, and emotion.
say that one more time.
Yeah, say that
I'm
again,
safe.
Bill.
Yeah, say it slow.
Yeah,
I'm safe, illness, stress, alcohol. What on MSA? IMSA, fatigue, and emotion. Did I get them all? Illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, and emotion.
It's in the private pilot syllabus stuff they train for. So GA pilots should know that. And
and emotion's a biggie, really. That can really mess you up.
Your mental state of mind for sure can mess you up.
No doubt.
Yeah, it was a surprise. I didn't really plan on flying today, but it was really nice. I thought about it and I was like, no, I need to get this freaking carrier fixed. And then I just happened to see that he was flying. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna go do it. Yeah, it was rushed. It shouldn't have been. I mean, this sport is not, hey, hurry up and do that. No, it's not about that.
But
So I should,
remember, this was not a fail. This is a very good learning thing that you learned today. No, nothing was broke. Nobody got hurt. Yeah, you may have been embarrassed, but everybody does it. Don't worry about it. Somebody will do it eventually again. So saying this on this show helps people that haven't done it yet, or that are wanting to get into the sport, or are very new also. And you are very new with only 3 flights.
yeah.
So don't be embarrassed. This is a really good learning tool. And hopefully what you've done and said on the show will resonate to people that are listening to this. And they'll be like, oh, I really have to make sure that I'm mentally focused. And, like you said, you had people out there, significant other, the other guy was flying. He was rushed to get up there. I'm going to try to mentally not get rushed. I'm going to try to mentally focus and realize that this is my machine. I'm the pilot in command. I don't have to go if I don't want to. So, I'm very glad that you are telling this. This is
Yeah.
a really good thing. Nobody got hurt. No, you didn't burn a hole in your wing
No.
like I did on mine when it fell back. I'll never do that one again. So,
Um,
anyway, so you plan on going out and flying again in the
Oh
future?
yeah. I'm definitely going to fly before the fly-in I'm going to, but it's in May. I'm going to fly a lot more before then. But the fly-in in May and on the Eastern Shore is called Spring Wing. So if anybody's near Virginia and wants to come out to that, everybody's welcome. It's May 17th to the 21st. So it is literally you're right in between 2 bodies of water right there. So it's absolutely beautiful. The picture behind me is from that area. You can't see the water there, but the video that I posted where it says soar the shore, because I did it in September. So that this fly-in is Spring Wing in May, and then in September it's called Soar the Shore. So if you look up Soar the Shore 2022, you'll find it. But
Yeah, I think I don't know what year or what time of the year or what dates I'm saying is Bad Apples. I think it's in May as well.
the
But I'm not,
same time. It's the same.
yeah.
So
that's
and I realize that a lot of people are like, screw that, I'm going to Bad Apples. Hey, I'm from Georgia. I'd love to go down there, but that's a long drive, man.
I've been to I get it. Yeah, I've been to Virginia, Virginia Beach, and then I think I seen the group Aviator. They were in Virginia flying Virginia Beach.
On
I'm like, oh
Virginia
man.
Beach, which I don't know how they did that, because that's in a no-fly zone. I guess they got clearance somehow. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I told him, I was like, man, I didn't know you could fly the beach over there. I didn't know when I was stationed in the Marines. I didn't know that. I didn't fly then either, so I wouldn't have flown then. But I'd love to definitely do it.
I do have a question for you guys. What do you think about new or unexperienced pilots going to fly-ins? Are you afraid to fly around a fly-in with new students or new people that are just learning to fly? Does it not bother you? When you take off, do you immediately take off and GTFO out of the area, or what do y'all do? What do y'all think? And that's for you guys too in the super.
I don't think I wasn't, because the second time I went flying down when I was training with Kylo Glee was a mini fly-in with Bill H. Bill H was there. He could tell you there was about, I'm not going to say it's like a fly-in. There was maybe 12 to 15 of us there, and we all flew at the same time. I have some people, like, they have a girl that flies with them. She gets a lot of anxiety when there's a lot of people around her. She don't want anybody near her. When she takes off, she's like, everybody get away from me. I'm going off by myself. It doesn't bother me as long as everybody knows to look out for other pilots. I'm good with it. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, the biggest fly-in I went to was Bad Apples, and that was my my second fly-in that year. So, and that was the most people I've flown with in the sky at the same time. And I wasn't really nervous at all. My thoughts going to it, there was some nervousness, like, wow, it's gonna be weird, it's gonna be different, it's gonna be a lot of people. But kind of how they set it up and what they want you to do, you set your wing up first, don't bring your gear out there. set your wing up first, you get it staged up, and then they kind of got the bosses, the volunteer guys, doing your best to see that you're ready to go, and they're like point at you. So it's like you don't even have to is it my turn to go? He's like pointing right at you. So you usually it's good once you get up in the sky. I mean, I kept my head on a swivel, but I don't have a problem flying with new people or a bunch of people.
Right.
So
I
is
think
the
if I was
question that, is it a good idea for new pilots to go to fly-ins?
Well, it's kind of like, new pilots. Do you feel comfortable going to a fly-in with a bunch of people? And people that do go to fly-ins, are you worried about new pilots flying there that don't have a lot of experience? I know a long time ago you had to have at least your PPG-2 before you went to a fly-in, but now nobody cares.
Yeah, I was pretty new. I was still pretty new last year, and that was in May. I guess that was actually 1 year to the date I was been flying, because that was in this year or last year now, 2022. And then May 2021, May 1st, 2021 is when I learned. So I was still pretty new.
So
My first
Angelo,
fly-in, I was really, really apprehensive. And there was only 12 pilots there, so there wasn't very many, but it was a tight LZ, it was a tight takeoff area, and I had only been flying for 2 months. So before I got there, I probably did close to 75 flights before I got there, like the month before, because I wanted to make sure that I could land and take off without any failure, without any fear of messing something up. But that's the biggest fly-in I've ever been to, 12 people, pilots.
so
Salton Sea is gonna be scary for me.
It's a
Angelo
big
wants
open
to
desert.
know how I got into paramotoring. I guess the best way to, if I start back at the beginning, when I played Little League Baseball when I was little, obviously.
Well,
I
you're
don't
going
know
all
what,
the way back, man.
I'm going way back. So we're talking in the 70s. Now, I don't know when ultralights were invented. I'm pretty sure what I saw in the air was an ultralight. What's up, Steve? And I saw that thing flying, and I think I even tried to look up the price, but internet was like, there was no,
Yeah.
there was no way. And I was like, it's going to be way too expensive. But I was like, one day I want to do that. So skip ahead all the way till I turned 40 years old. I decided, a friend of mine asked me, did I want to go hang gliding? And I was like, yeah, it sounds like fun. Now, I'm not a big fan of heights. I don't like heights. It's weird because if I'm the one in the air, it's not that big a deal. I don't like seeing like people on the side of buildings about to fall off. That makes my hands start sweating. I don't know why, because if it's me, it's okay. Before I went hang gliding, though, I think I went parasailing. That was down in the Bahamas. That was nice. But I did the hang gliding thing, and then I was thinking, oh, I'm going to buy a hang glider, and I'm going to go fly a hang glider. And then I saw how much the hang glider costs, which isn't that bad, honestly. But I didn't want to have to drive an hour and a half to the mountains to go run and jump off a mountain and then get a 15-minute glide down and you're done. You got to go back up the mountain again. So I let that fade away. And then I bought a drone. I think it was 2006 when the Mavic Pro came out. I went and bought a drone. Love flying the drone, but it wasn't enough. I was like, I want to be the one in the air. I don't want to be flying the thing. I want to be what's in the air. So I think after that, I started watching videos, and I mean, I've seen them all, Tucker Gott and Kyle Glee, and you name it. I've watched a lot of videos, and I decided to book training with Kyle, and went down there in May, and everything went really good. He had a few students there. A couple of them have been there many, many times, and they still haven't made it in the air. Good luck to those Vegas boys, but after that, I came back, still didn't have any gear or anything. I don't recommend anybody to go try to buy gear. Like, don't go buy a paramotor and buy a wing and then go get training. That's completely backwards. Go get
Yep.
your training first. No question.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that.
Guilty? You're guilty? So,
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, your instructor is going to say, hey, you probably need such and such size wing. You know, you need such and such paramotor. So they're going to help you. You don't want to go, well, I probably could just use this or that. That's very dangerous. So go get your training first, then worry about the equipment. So after I got back from training here, I guess about a month or so, I got some money from where my mom's house sold. So that split up between the children. And I just took it and bought the Factory R Moster 185 and the BGD Magic ML wing. And then I guess I had it for like a week or two, and then that Soar the Shore was coming up. Went up there, and very first attempt right in the air. No anything. Just I put the wing behind me and took off, which was awesome. And the wind was really good. So it was just my landing with the turtle. If y'all ever go to my channel, paramotordude.com, it'll take you straight to my YouTube. Look and search through that for the Soar the Shore video. You'll see me fly and act completely ridiculous because I was so excited to be in the air, and then land and turtle on my back. So.
Oh, somebody got the turtle picture, right? The turtle of shame.
No, nobody got the picture. Unfortunately, all
everyone's-
you get to see is me staring in the sky. That's about it.
Yeah.
With your feet up there doing this number, right?
Pretty much.
I have to tell you, when I first started flying, I swore I would not turtle. I would not bump my butt on the ground. I would not bump my butt coming in for a landing. I would not slide in. And my first 5 flights, did them all.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will say, May the 4th, May the 4th be with you, should have been my first flight. I did what a lot of other PPG pilots do.
You set too early.
I sat too early. I think what happened was I may have had the leg straps a little too tight, but I could be wrong about that. Once you can feel the weight come off of you, and it feels like it's pulling you up. And I don't know if I just automatically leaned back or got scooped into my seat. Nevertheless, I flew about 30 feet right down into the ground. But I leaned forward as much as I could to try to keep the prop from hitting the ground. So I just took maybe a millimeter off the edge of the prop. So Kyle was, I was beating myself. I was really mad at myself for doing that. But he's like, dude, you didn't even make it to the bucket of shame. And he fixed the prop that night. And that's the one I flew the next day. That same prop that he repaired.
Yeah, I've seen some people do that sitting early thing in training. And man, he was an older gentleman. I'd say in his 60, 65 or so, maybe even older than that. Guy's an office guy. Yeah, he was in the office a lot, and didn't go out much. He was more of an inside person, and he just wanted to do it for the experience because he didn't plan on buying one after training. But man, he ran this paramotor out and just gunned it and sat down too early. And I mean, he just kept going, just ate the ground with his buttocks.
Wow.
And just kept mashing throttle and didn't give up. And he just eventually, it sucked. Eventually he had to, but
there's a Soar to Shore video, that first one. Yeah.
Is that where you turtle?
Yeah, that is where I turtled. You can turn the sound off because yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. And I told myself, because I've watched a million YouTube videos, I was like, I'm never gonna sit down. That's not gonna happen. But it literally feels like you're already in the air, but you're not. You just think you're in the air because all the weight comes off of you, and you can start to feel the wing lift you, and you're like, okay, it's good for me to sit in the seat. But you don't realize you're adding all that weight to it when you sit in the seat, and then it goes right back down.
Yeah. My trick is that my buddies laughed at some of my videos.
Showing a white screen. Come on, video, work.
All we see is a white screen over here.
Really?
There we go. There we go.
So one of the things that I've noticed is that students that have the opportunity at their school to tow, they don't sit early. And I really think that if I was able to tow, I would understand how it feels to be lifted and know the difference from, it just getting solid above you or, you know, actually lifting you up in the air. So towing is very crucial, I think.
This is on the eastern shore. So as you can see, there's plenty. All those are cotton fields. So you can land. I mean, you wouldn't want to land in the cotton field, but you could land anywhere around there. All those other green fields that are over there. I didn't go anywhere near the water, which you can kind of see in this corner of the screen. I don't know why it's playing at 2 speed.
Yeah,
or
my trick
Who's
on not sitting.
doing this? Will, are you doing this?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you want to
it's-
fast forward to the turtle?
Did you optimize?
yeah, you want to go to the last couple minutes if you want to see the
Is it not
turtle.
working?
Oh, that back up a little bit. That's too far. Not 11:23.
It's slow on my end.
Go.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
It's
And,
just a tad bit choppy, that's all.
Okay.
I'd love. I have no idea how to do that yet, so I'll learn.
It shows me come in literally. It looks like I'm going maybe 2 miles an hour at the very end there, and I just literally come down and then fell back on my feet, fell back on my back.
Turtle.
The turtle, I would go to like a 10-minute mark, somewhere in there.
Obviously on the
somewhere right in-
landing, right?
Yeah, it's on the landing, but there's a little bit of video. Let's see where you're at.
Oh, no, I must
That
have
a little
been
bit more. You're
must have
right
been-
there at it.
pre-turtle.
There we go. This is it. So it's not coming in clear yet, but Corey came out there and he literally gave me the kill sign. He could tell that the wind was bad. He was like, kill it, land. So that's what I did. And coming in right there, you can see this was shore to shore. You can see there's only like 8 or 10 cars there at the most. So we need more people.
Can you
At the-
guys see this? It looks like it's
It is very grainy.
grainy. I can't really see anything.
It's
Yeah, it's fuzzy,
Well,
but I can see.
so I'm going forward and I'm going to kind of turn left right into the wind here.
If you
right
want,
here.
I got it queued up if you want me to try it.
And then,
Yeah, it would be better if you did it.
All right.
yeah, it'll work.
'Cause I want people to be able to see it.
All right.
John Wayne said he paid Kyle Glee for broken equipment and he didn't break anything.
Oh, there you go. That's much
Mhm.
better.
Can you see
He
He
it? Is
paid
it-
him for
He said he paid Kyle extra for broken gear and didn't break anything until he bought his own gear. That's tough.
I'm basically doing a loop around. I was gonna land the first time, but I was coming in way too hot and there was another guy about to take off. So I decided to loop around.
Can you guys see this okay? Is it clear for you
Yes,
guys?
it's clear now.
Yeah,
Clear,
it's
yeah.
still there.
Choppy,
What'd you
but
do
clear.
differently? Your magic computer engineering skills
Well,
kicked
he's
in.
the host. It's
Oh yeah, better on the
No,
host
my
network.
internet's usually awful. So I'm surprised that's actually working pretty good.
It's a little choppy, but it's still clear.
Yeah.
there we
Oh,
go. Go a
there's-
little further. You should be able to. Here comes my turbo light. Yeah, I had one of those Guardian Angel strobe lights. It was just magnetically stuck to one of my Velcro, and it popped off as soon as I hit the ground. Went flying forward.
I've
See,
done
you'll
that with
see-
my cell phone. Dropped it
See
right.
him come out here in a
on
second,
that.
and he's doing the whole kill it. Yeah, right there. He's walking out in the field and telling me to kill it. So I'm like, okay, I guess I better land.
So we're going directly into the wind?
Yeah, the wind right now is at me, but right around those trees is coming from the left over to the
Zips
right.
around
So
a
I
little
kind of,
bit?
I kind of curved a little bit. You'll see I start going really slow right here because I'm into the wind. And I'm flaring, but it's not doing anything. There goes the strobe light. And then,
There's the
boom, feet right up in the air. And there's a plane.
Hey, man.
How often do I get out and kite? I try to kite when I can, Mad Slow, but the last time I tried to go out and kite, it was like, oh, this is the perfect wind. I went out and then boom, here comes the rainstorm. As soon as I started kiting, the rainstorm hit. But yeah, as soon as the weather is decent, which it is now, if we get a little bit of wind, I'm going out and kiting some more. I love to kite my wing.
So I got a question for you. When you came in for that landing, why did we turtle? I don't understand. What did the wind catch you and bring you backwards, or did you just-
No. What happened? the way I came down, I was kind of on my knees a little bit, and I wasn't prepared for the weight of the motor. So as soon as the wing started to come down, the weight hit me, and I instantly fell backwards. Thing's
Okay,
pretty
you were-
heavy.
Okay, you were on your knees. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I was on my knees. Yeah, if I was on my feet, I still could have turtled, I guess. But yeah, I was on my knees, kind of.
Yeah, I had a landing in the beginning where I came in and I wasn't like pressing my chest out, foot forward. I was just kind of relaxed and comfortable and probably halfway still on my seat. And I put my foot down, and it was probably my motor's got a bumper on it, which also helps as like a kickstand. But that kind of saved me from turtling almost, because as soon as the bumper hit, it kind of popped me back up. But potentially would have turtled that one because I didn't lean forward enough. And I always try to make sure I lean a little forward and step my foot out, so that way I can try to prevent from turtling. But I've came close.
Gotcha. It is almost 8 o'clock, and something that we're going to try this year is to only do an hour podcast. I have some people that say thank you for doing 3 hours, because I'm a over the road guy, and it just takes the time. I just love it. Some people are like, who really listens more than an hour. So we're going to try to do just an hour podcast this year, see how everything works. Linda has no glasses on, so I guess that means it's thumbnail time.
I don't know why
I meant to mention that earlier.
it's going dark and light in the background. Does it look dark behind me? And then it seems
look
like when I
fine.
put my glasses on, like it lightens
Whoa,
up.
look at all that. Whoa, what happened? Oh, no.
It's all like glare.
It's all dark back there. I don't know why.
No, it's all good. It looks fine.
I don't even have the TV on tonight. You should be proud of
Yeah, I did this number, and I like did that. It's like, oh, I see your glasses are off.
me.
Yeah. So,
Okay, I'm
all
ready.
right. So you're taking your glasses off. Grandpa's putting his on.
Okay.
Oh, I got some reading glasses I could throw on.
My God. I'm just doing
Shut
this
the-
because this is what, she takes hers off. So I was like, hey, it's okay. to have glasses on.
I know.
You all ready?
Yeah.
Yup.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We got it.
The first picture of season 4 on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, ClearPropTV.com and
Just kidding.
See, look I put my glasses on and the screen is lighting up in the back.
Well, you got a
That's
lot of
real.
glare on your glasses.
I have a ghost.
It's like it's
There's a
reflecting.
ghost in my apartment. That's what it is. It's the ghost.
You got your TV on?
Nope.
No, maybe it was my TV's on, and I can see the light change on my screen.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm telling you. It's the Christmas ghost came back.
It could be when the computer screen
See?
cuts over to different
got-
users.
1 minute left. We want to give away. We want to give away a calendar. Jimmy,
Okay.
the calendars. They're not here yet, but as soon as they are, I'm going to send some calendars out. So, who wants a free calendar? How are we going to do this? Scuba Steve, come up with a question to ask the super chat, and whoever answers it first wins. But put the answer here in the chat so we know what it is. So we're watching the super chat. So
Okay.
While we're waiting for his question, I just been wanting to show you guys this new cool bracelet my grandmother got me for Christmas. I never thought it's a paracord bracelet,
yeah,
but she's like, because you fly, I wanted you to have something safety. But it actually, I give it the camera right. It's this little latch down here at the bottom, comes off. If I can get it off in time. Now there it is. It's a lot easier when I'm looking at it, but trying to do it for the screen. And then it's a knife.
Cool.
Like a little
not a knife. This is a knife.
knife. It's a baby knife, but I mean, it might need sharpened, but I thought that was pretty cool.
I was waiting for Walter to say, that's not a knife.
This is a knife. I have a Rambo knife, but I can't carry that one.
Right. Remember, it's the chat here, Steve, not the super chat. We don't want to give them the question or the answer.
There. That's an easy one for anybody that follows paramotoring
Okay.
a lot. They would know.
Okay. Well, go ahead and ask the question, and the first person that uses this answer wins a calendar. So, Scuba Steve, it's your show. Ask the question.
All right. The question is, what city and state does Kylo Glee live in and train?
Dun, dun,
Ooh, I know, but I
dun,
can't.
Easy.
dun, 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 dun. There's a little bit of a lag, as you can see.
Well, of
So,
course, there's a lag. Well, Bill's going to know right off the bat, but
Right.
hopefully other people know. If you,
Bill H wins almost everything, and if John Wayne wins, John always says send it to Bill.
look, we have an answer. Right. I
Oh, we
see duck
do.
spit. I see duck
I
spit right off the
see
bat.
John
PPG.
Wayne. John Wayne, maybe.
Yeah, but the first person was Duckspit PPG.
Oh, I see duck spit now. Yeah.
Duckspit PPG. All you got to do is go over to paramotorarkansas.com.
Woo!
Make
Congratulations.
a free account.
So he
if you have
lives
not done so already.
lives in
Go
Spring Hill,
over to
but it flies.
podcastwinners.com.
Yeah.
Fill that out, and we'll send you a calendar, a paramotor calendar, as soon as we get it from Canada Post. Congratulations! That's awesome.
Yay.
Also,
Congrats.
duck spit. That just sounds funny. Duck spit. I mean,
Sounds-
I want
Is that like Daffy Duck's brother?
I want to I want to know
Wah, 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 wah.
I want to know how we got duck spit PPG. So when you
Quack, 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 quack.
text me tomorrow. My phone number is 501-747-3558.
Do ducks spit? I always thought just llamas spit.
Don't know if they spit or swallow. I don't ask them that. So duck spit, do me a favor, just text me sometime tomorrow, 501-747-3558. Go to podcastwinners.com, fill that out.
Oh, okay. Now I see. Okay. Hi, Nick.
Oh, Michael's thing. And congratulations. Scuba Steve, sir.
Love it.
So
love it.
very much for being the
Oh,
guest.
thanks for having me.
Even though you've been on the panel for what, months? I mean,
pond. Now you got the duck talking.
been on the pond
Been on the
panel.
pond for a while, man.
Pond
Oh,
panel.
y'all quack me up.
I guess Kyle technically does live in Shongaloo, but the airport is literally like a mile from his house. I mean, come on. It's
I thought it was. I was
He
going to say
always says-
Shreveport, but I don't know why I
All
was
we
thinking
got to
Shreveport.
do is we
yeah,
got
Shreveport is where we flew into, but he's quite a while a ways from Shreveport. It's about a 45-minute ride from Shreveport.
excellent. So Nick, just give me a call and let me know how you got that duck spit PPG. I think that's pretty cool. Once again, thank you so much, Scuba Steve. We appreciate you. Go over to paramotordude.com to learn more about Paramotor Steve. Jim from Canada, he runs carepp.com and he helps us out. There's a QR code. Go over to carepp.com and use the code PPG Grandpa. You get 10% off anything that you order through him. We got Michael Crotchett on the panel. We appreciate you. Linda
Thank you.
Anderson, she's our PR girl. And we got Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. So with that note, Happy New Year. Welcome to season 4 of PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast. And with that, we're done. So here's a very short after show because we do have some things that we want to say.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Tomorrow night show. Tomorrow night show.
Yes, Will, go ahead.
Yeah, we got tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Shane, Mark, and I get together. It's a podcast, and it's called Paramotor Hangout. Tomorrow night we got Brian Goff, the U.S. importer for Mac Para. So check it out.
Excellent.
PPGShane.com will take you there.
PPGShane.com. And then on Wednesday, we got paramotorgirl.com. Thursday, Linda.
Oh, hello. Yes, paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday night with your host, Robert Michaels, my awesomest son. Yep, you guys all be there on Thursday night. Super, super fun.
I hate to be
but-
the other son.
I
The
know.
only thing
I
I
hear
have
that
to
all the
say
time.
is
I'm like,
that
oh.
You didn't tell me who the chatters were in the chatter room tonight. Because I
Oh, we
always
did-
like to shout out to everybody and tell, you know.
Yeah,
We have a
just
New
did
Year's
do a
resolution
spinning-
now.
Yeah, we just didn't do a spinning wheel winning thing. We did give away the calendar.
But
Yeah,
thank
what-
you, chatters.
What is our
MIT.
Yeah, what is our New Year's resolution? Who has
Fly
a New-
more.
Fly more?
I'm definitely going to fly more
Fly more?
and probably get some more
Fly
exercise.
more.
Well, I mean, I just haven't been able to fly lately, and it's just because of the chain of events that's been occurring. And me having the kid, she's like, "You can go fly, Dad." I would fly. I was like, "Yeah, it's just, it's the less time I get to spend with you. I can always fly another day." So
There you go.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that flying more is definitely a good New Year's resolution. It's not because we don't want to fly more. We really do want to fly more.
Yes.
Also, too, for people that don't know, we have started a new nonprofit organization to help disabled veterans get gear once they get training. Now, we know that Resurgence PPG gets people trained, disabled vets, but they don't have the gear. So we're stepping in to help Resurgence PPG and disabled vets get gear once they get proper training from a reputable school. So we'll be doing that. We already filed. We're just waiting for our letter from the IRS to give us the nonprofit stat or the tax exempt stat.
cool.
Right
Cool.
on. I'm
Nice,
excited.
nice.
Oh, Sean, yeah, maybe I'll call you after the show or tomorrow. Try to set up that handle for me.
Yeah, I mean, you won it last year.
Yeah, I don't want to wait another year.
No, I don't want to wait another year. Anything else before we kill the live stream and audio and go to a private little chat?
This was fun.
What you got, Scuba? Say it.
Yeah, what is the takeaway, Scuba, Steve, from what you learned today? What is the takeaway from this?
Fly safe, never get complacent. Always double and triple check your gear before you take off. I should have known to check to make sure the brakes were in my hand. That's going to be a new thing on my checklist. Besides checking the roads are clear and the brakes are clear, brakes in hand. That's going to be
There you go.
another one that I add to the list.
That's good. And I don't think it's complacency because, you're just a very new student. So
Yeah.
it's definitely not complacency. You just
You don't really have the routine down yet.
been too long.
I
Yep.
think as long as you can make a mistake and be safe about it and not hurt yourself, I think it's a great opportunity to take away some positive stuff from it. So
Yeah,
I agree.
definitely.
Absolutely. Anything that you learn, whether you get hurt or not, it's just a learning opportunity. Everything that we do is a learning opportunity. And that's why we do these podcasts, guys. It's a learning opportunity. We're able to tell you what's going on in our life and what we've done as far as paramotoring. And we're trying to help you guys out too. So hopefully you don't get caught in the same situation. I think this is great, Steve. It's not embarrassing. Like we all said, we've done it.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. We've
yeah,
butt
don't be
landed.
embarrassed.
We skidded in. We've dropped the brakes sometimes. We've flared too soon and ballooned back up. Sometimes we don't flare quick enough when we slide in. But the good thing about a paramotor is we're only doing about 25 miles an hour. It's like falling off a moped or a bicycle. It's not too horrible, thankfully.
Never trust a skinny chef saying said no more lines around my feet on takeoff.
Dang, man, that video brought so much joy to so many people, Shane.
Yeah. That was very interesting. The first time I saw it, though, I had to rewind and look at it, I'm like, he got it on the lines.
It was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Done that too.
definitely.
When John face planted earlier, he did the whole flare balloon thing and he came down and he face planted. I've never seen anybody stay laying on their face for so long.
You just taking it in.
He just literally was laying face first in the dirt and didn't move. I was
System
like,
check.
is he hurt?
He's
He's
doing
like, nobody's
system
Right? Nobody
he's like,
saw
nobody-
this.
nobody saw that, right? Yeah.
check.
Posted one is called the best paramotor crash ever. Let me go ahead and
It's
pull and
It's also
The
good to
slow motion
watch
frontal.
crashes and learn from them. Other people making mistakes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me share with this real quick. before you guys go, because this is a very interesting crash, and we'll leave it on this note. Let me go ahead and go here and share. All right. So if you haven't seen this one, how many views did we get on this? 16,000 views. All right. So
Damn.
here we go. Best paramotor crash ever. And it kind of sounds exactly like what your friend just did tonight.
Oh, okay.
Coming
Is this
in.
you?
This is not me. This is one of the students. Flared too much, ballooned up, held it, and
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a high
there,
drop.
and
Oh,
and
oh, that's almost identical to it. Wow.
yeah, when
And
you
you said your friend was having problems with the flare.
yeah,
Yeah.
Too high.
and if
That
you
could have
notice
been
right
involved.
here on his helmet, there's a big dent, and he walked
That
away from
wasn't
it.
the prop, was it?
He walked away from it without any issues at all. He had a big dent on it, and he's like, "Thank God I wear a helmet." So for those of you out there that think, "Oh, I don't need a helmet," you might.
It's
Yeah.
usually on takeoff and landing that it comes in handy.
Yeah, or something through your prop as you're doing some low acro, and you're like, boom. Not to say that it ever happened to me, but yes, it did. And thank God I had a helmet. But anyways, guys, thank you again for watching. This is season 4 of PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearPropTV, paratalk.org. And we love you guys. Definitely fly safe. Scuba Steve, thank you again so much. Glad that you're on the panel forever.
For having me.
Michael, thank you again. Shout out
Thank
to
you.
Urgence PPG and Project Airtime. Jim, thank you so much again for helping us out with the calendars. And once they get here, we're going to send them all out to you guys. Linda, thank you for helping us book. We got people booked all the way to the so thank you very much for that. Will Fly, thank you for everything that you do, including helping out and being on the board of the new runintothesky.org that's going to help with disabled veterans getting proper gear after training. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow at ppgshane.com, Wednesday over at paramotorgirl.com, Thursday at paraglidingtalk.com, and also don't forget, fly safe, and time flies just like paramotor pilots.
There you go.
That's our next t-shirt.
Right.
You guys stay here. We're going to kill all the streams, and we're going to talk a little bit privately before we head on out. So thank you guys again. We appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Good night.